I lived on the streets when I was 13 years old. In fact, I grew myself up off of the streets. I ran away from home because I was being abused and I had no place to go. I had no one to call for safety. As a result of being on the streets, I ended up being trafficked for labor. And no, it wasn't what they show you like in the movies or in the media, some kid being kidnapped and, shackles and duct tape and all that stuff. Their leverage, my traffickers' leverage, was the fact that I had no money, no place to go, and no one I could call. And that I was trying to be invisible because I didn't want to be found by the abusers that I ran from. Eventually, I was lucky enough to escape and figure out how to get a job that didn't involve me being trafficked, but not before it happened one more time. It's preventable. It's preventable right now. There are kids out there right now in exactly that same vulnerable situation, and there is something that you can do to help stop it. It won't cost you anything more than a few moments of your time. The Runaway Homeless Youth and Trafficking Prevention Act is getting ready to be presented in front of Congress in December. So there's a very limited amount of time to get your congressman on board to co-sponsor this legislation into law. And the only way that that's going to happen is if you make your voices heard. People say all the time, what can I do? I wish there was something I can do. Well, now I'm telling you, there is something you can do. You can call your local representative and your senators. You can send an email. You can do both, and you can tweet them. Don't know who they are? I'm going to help you and make it super easy for you. I'm going to put a link on this video so that you can click over and find out who your local people are that you need to shout out to and say, I want our youth protected. I don't want these kids who end up living on the streets to have no place to go. I don't want them in the hands of traffickers. I support passing this legislation into law to provide these kids with the care that they need and they deserve. Within 2 to 48 hours, a child who's out there on the streets is going to be approached by a predator, somebody who wants to exploit them. 1 in 5 kids who end up living on the streets will be exploited. I was one of those 1 in 5. You can make a difference. You can watch this video and flip through, or you can share it and make those calls and send those emails. I'm going to put everything in the comment section that you need to know, including what to say when you make that call, or a copy and paste that you can send off to your senators and your representatives. Please join me in passing this legislation into law. It will make a huge difference in the prevention of trafficking and in the care and safety of kids who would otherwise be without.